Good evening, everyone. This is Brett Provenzano here, Superintendent of Fairport Central School District. We're here for a board meeting, but before we begin the board meeting, we like to recognize and celebrate the wonderful accomplishments of our students. This night, we are here celebrating first and foremost our graduates. We'll be celebrating our graduates on Thursday at Blue Cross Arena at 7 p.m. I'll be there as a superintendent and as a dad, proud dad. We're able to enjoy the wonderful festivities that our school district has to offer. But Mr. Clark's here tonight to talk about our honor graduates for the class of 2022. What we did last year was open up the opportunity to recognize students. In the past, and again, Mr. Clark will reiterate this and probably tighten up the numbers a little bit, but we would recognize between 70 and 75 students yearly. The way we reformatted our system is we had an opportunity to recognize exponentially probably around 250 students last year and this year as well to celebrate academic excellence. And Mr. Clark's going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to recognize the great work that they've done and their commitment to academic achievement. Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Provenzano, and thank you to the Board of Education for this opportunity to commend our honor graduates publicly as part of an official school board meeting. As Mr. Provenzano had just shared, we made some changes to our honor system last year, about a year and a half ago. And to review, we adopted a Latin system, which is as follows. We have cum laude, which is essentially with praise, the cumulative average of 87.5 to 92.4%, followed by magna cum laude with great praise, cumulative average of 92.5 to 97.4, and then our summa cum laude graduates, which are with our highest praise, with an average of 97.5 to 100%. The good news is we have 245 of those graduates this year. It's very consistent with where we were last year. The bad news, I usually read these names all, so I'm going to spare that honor tonight. We're going to save that for graduation. And instead, we're going to share our senior highlights, which is a nice tradition we started last year that we've been putting out through Instagram, and all of their honors are included. So quick breakdown before we press play. We had 106 cum laude students, 126 magna cum laude, and 13 summa cum laude students. And a little bit of a warning, it goes pretty fast, so we can spare you a little bit of time because we know we have an official board meeting. So please enjoy the show, and then we'll talk a little bit more when it's finished. Thank you.
Close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build, every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. We may be right, we may be wrong, but I wanna bring you along to the world I see, to the world we close our eyes to see. We close our eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
As you know, so many of our students have gone through so much over the last 3 years, and their perseverance is obviously on display with the achievements there. And we look forward to celebrating with everybody at graduation on Thursday. Just wanted to share that we recently held a breakfast to celebrate that accomplishment, and we will be giving student certificates to mark the occasion. Again, I want to take the opportunity to thank our Blue House administrator, Steph Miner, who worked with her secretary, Katie DeMott, and Tony to put together the video and the highlights that they've been putting out daily through Instagram. And that's all the up-to-date information we have. Students may have made some changes in the schools they were attending, et cetera. We do the best we can to update that. And just a heads up to everyone that we will post that stuff on our social media, because I know that it went pretty fast. So again, I want to thank the Board of Education, Brett, and all the district leadership for all your support, and for the FHS staff for the tireless commitment to support our students. Thank you very much.
Bob, really quick, it's just really been amazing the past couple of weeks, seeing the kids, their excitement, the pure joy, just by being together. The celebrations have been rich, meaningful. Our bash this past weekend, the kids were having so much fun, generally just engaging with each other. We're proud of all the activities and the celebrations and their achievements. So thank you for spearheading it, and your team's been amazing and flexible and responsive. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it.
Honor grads. Every year, we also celebrate academic excellence in our athletic program. We have athletes who are student athletes. That's a real term. It's something that we take pride in, and it's impressive what you're about to hear, the range and the depth of academic excellence and the standards that our students embrace. Mr. Colleen's going to talk a little bit about our scholar athletes and what it takes to be a scholar athlete.
At the end of each sports season, the State Public High School Athletic Association. I'll start over. At the end of each athletic season, our State Athletic Association, they honor teams and individuals that excel in the classroom. And these student athletes, teams, and schools work very, very hard throughout the year and deserve to be recognized for their academic success. Now, in order for a scholar athlete team to be recognized with a certificate, the varsity team's average GPA for 75% of the roster must be greater than or equal to 90. Our first team is coached by Tom Caputo. That's our baseball team. And special congratulations to our all-county selections, Braden Council and Connor Sackett. Baseball had a fantastic season. They played their best without a home field and campus, and can't be more prouder of the perseverance and grit that they showed. On to our next slide, boys golf, coached by Rich Copeland. You can see the all-county members there, Zachary Jerome and Connor Keel, Ryan McDermott, Nate Russo. They were Monroe County League champions, and Connor also participated in the state championships. On to the next slide, Boys lacrosse, coached by Mike Torelli. You can see the all-county selections there. Joe Budarazzi, Josh Knapp, Bill Mahar, Jackson Monty, Joe Gigi, Kyle Gould, Jake Kuhnman, McLeod Ralston, Matt Budarazzi, Ben Hadley, Brendan Riley, Chase Rizzo, and Cole Villaray. They were Section 5 champions for the third year in a row and ended up taking on a very, very tough Baldwinsville team in the state semifinalists. Coach Charlie was also Coach of the Year. That was voted on by his peers. Congratulations to the boys lacrosse program. On to girls lacrosse, coached by Merrick Harp. Again, congratulations to our all-county players, Katie Malaber, Ava Piers, Ella Piers, Jalen Toomey, Abby Consul, Lily Condis, Emily Van Gorder, and also to Ava Piers, who was a Section 5 all-tournament team member. On to softball, coached by Kurt Johnson. Congratulations to Cecilia Byrne, Juliana Haas, Amanda Lillenbrink, Nicole Allen, Morgan Kennedy, and Cecilia Byrne, who was also the tournament MVP and Class AA Player of the Year. Also, our softball team was a AA Section 5 champion and went on to the Western Regionals. Congratulations on a great season. On to boys tennis, coached by Terry Metcalf. Congrats to Andrew Balsamo. As you will see, he was ranked 8th in Monroe County and finished 16th at singles in the sectional tournament. Maddox Dungagna and Andrew Miller, they were top 8 doubles team in Section 5, ranked 8th in the county. And Kyle and Ryan Kasperk, honorable mention all county, and they were the top 16 doubles in Section 5. And Greg Pepin, first team all county, he was also ranked 4th in the county and was a top singles player in Section 5 in the top 8. More importantly, they won the Team Sportsmanship Award in Division 1. Congratulations to the team. Our boys track and field program, coached by Sean Van Laken. Lots of winners here, individual winners. Naeem Abdullah, who was a pentathlon all-county and a Section 5 champion, and also a state team qualifier. John Farrell, a first-team all-county member, and also a state team qualifier. Colin Lesher, Harrison Lutzer, Jake Passalugo, and Mike Toronto were first-team all-county with their relay, and were also Section 5 champions with their relay. Tyler Fisher, he was second team all-county, and he was a participant in the steeplechase. Girls track and field, coached by Christy Moore. Congratulations to Jillian Embler. She was a first team all-county in the pentathlon and participated in the state championships in that event. Zoe Marcus, who was a first team all-county and a state championship participant. We also have our 4x4 state team qualifiers made up of Zoe, Abby Moose, Lauren Murphy, and Mary-Kate Rudnucky. And Mary-Kate was also a second team all-county steeplechase participant. We also had Morgan Donovan, Abby Moose, Lily Pink, and Ari Reebok in the 4x8 relay as second team all-county members. I would like to thank Brett Provenzano and the Board of Education for their support this year. As I do this presentation, it's hard to put into words how many supporters we needed to run this athletic program safely. I can't thank our custodians, our buildings and grounds, our transportation, and everything that went into that. It was nothing short of a miracle in terms of moving contests to different facilities, and the grit and the perseverance that our student athletes and team showed was just phenomenal. So again, thank you for your support.
Fritz, another sign that we are on our way back is just the level of energy. It's great walking around our schools, seeing all the activity, seeing our students compete, being healthy, doing it in safe, productive ways. Our student athletes have a great competitive spirit, and they're academically, they're showing up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.
Before we even call this meeting to order, we have another one also very exciting to recognize the Fairport Team 578 robotics team and ask all of them to come down. And who is your spokesperson? James Christensen, great. Or Mrs.
It's a pretty big medal.
There we go. Is this working? Great. All right. So My name is James Christensen. I'm team president of Team 578, Red Raider Robotics. We're here at Fairport High School. So we are a 12-month team. We do things all year round, school in or school out. So 3 months of the year, from January to March, is our competition and build season. Build season starts on the first Saturday in January, and for the next 6 weeks, we have to build a robot that accomplishes a variety of different tasks in the competition. And then we'll go to various competitions and compete compete with other teams to try and beat the game. So this year we went to the Finger Lakes Regional Tournament at RIT, and we went to the Buckeye Tournament in Cleveland. We actually won a competition. We won a regional for the first time in about 20 years. So we're very excited about that. That's why I can wear this. And that was at our local tournament at RIT. So that's what we do in those 3 months of the season. And I'm gonna have one of our teams called Sparketing talk about the other 9 months. We do various community outreach and fundraising during that time.
Hello, I'm Gabe Foster. I'm part of the Sparketing team for Fairport Robotics. Sparketing is a sort of unique subdivision of our team. It's where we do business matters. It's where we organize outreach. And yeah, so I'm going to talk about that. A few of our outreach things, we're not just about building robots. We also extend the values of our team and our community through our outreach. A few ways we do that: we partner with Fairport Baptist Home and the Bethany House to provide them with vital items throughout the year. And we also adopt a highway in Fairport. One of our missions is inspiring a love of STEM in youth in our district so that someday they might join our team. And we mentor 4 FLL teams, First LEGO League, throughout the year. And one of our upcoming projects is that we are installing STEM kit mailboxes in all of our elementary schools so that elementary students, when they visit their libraries in their schools, they can do fun STEM kit activities. And yeah. Last year all right, Abyss is going to talk about a few other things.
Okay. Hi, I'm Abyss Mortimer. I'm also on Sparketing. So along with our outreach opportunities, we also have fundraisers we do, like the chalk raiders that you'll see on people's driveways, and the chicken barbecue that we had a few weeks ago. And then also last year, this is not a fundraiser, this is just something we did. We held Rochester Recharge so that teams could use the robots that they made in the 2020 season that got canceled, and so we hosted a scrimmage for that.
All right, so the moment you guys have all been waiting for. This is the robot. The light started blinking. That means it's on and can do things. So driving the robot is Dan on the left. He's our VP of Engineering and driver. And then Andrew is our operator, so he controls all of the individual mechanisms of the robot.
You need to catch it.
Oh, yeah.
Where do I have to go? Just tell me.
Like 5 feet away. A little bit closer. No, so we have, in this year's game, there were 2 different goals. One of them was about this high, and one of them is taller than I can reach. So one of our shooting speeds would take out a ceiling tile, and the other one you'll have to move up a little bit to catch. All right, you can,
I wouldn't trust
you can stay there. Just. All right. Dramatic effects.
You've been set up.
And then on our robot, you can see a little bit on how it works. The ball will roll in through the bottom here, through the intake, all right? And then this is a brass flywheel, so there's a lot of inertia with it. So when we rev it up, it'll transfer all that inertia into the ball. Another great feature of our robot that we've been working on for many years now, it's been an ongoing project, is our wheels. So we used to have tank drive, which means our robot would drive like a car. It can go forward, backwards, left, and right. But now this one, I'll go back over here. This one moves like a drone would in airspace. So it can go any direction it wants at any speed it wants and can rotate while doing it. It makes it a lot easier to parallel park. That's for sure. So that there's some rules with that. So as long as we repurpose it, we can use it. So for example, if we just took the climber hooks, well, that's something else I'll get to. If we just took the climber hooks off and put them on another robot, that wouldn't be allowed. But say we made the climber hooks slightly bigger or slightly smaller, then if we repurpose them, we can use them again. So our drive base this year, that's a great example. So our drive base, it's the heaviest piece on our robot, and it connects all the wheels, and it's the base which we build the robot from. That was repurposed from a couple years ago from a robot we took apart.
Well, you mentioned climbing hooks, so.
Oh, yeah, I got it. All right, so our climbing hooks. One of them is working right now. The other one is gummed up since our last competition. So this year, the climbing mechanism was monkey bars. So they were a couple feet apart and a couple feet off in elevation. So we had to climb up to the first one and then monkey bar our way. We didn't end up doing the monkey bar thing. Oh, look at this. This is a good example if you can see it. This is actually an award that another team made for us. It was most creative robot, so that's pretty fun. And then now this holds onto the bar. There are constant force springs inside of it, which are always pushing it up. And then that string is connected to a winch. So when we winch down, it'll pull our robot up onto the bar. The other hooks should be moving, it's just not. That's the story of our team this year. So, because it's gummed up. And so this is why we have an off season. Over the off season, we fix things up, and then we have another competition that's just a scrimmage in the fall, where we will compete against other teams again, just for fun, and figure out what we can do with our robot over the off season. So, we're gonna move on, and I'll have Wyatt talk now.
Okay, so I'm Wyatt Mortimer. I'm the software sub-team lead and the technician at competitions. And I'm going to talk about the times that the bumpers fell off the robot at the competition, which is bad because it's not safe, so they disable your robot so you can't drive it anymore until you put the bumpers back on, which you can't do while the match is going on. So we got the robot back, and then we bolted the bumpers on, and it was much better after that. Also, there were a couple times where the sorters modules we were talking about, they broke a whole lot at the competition in Cleveland, and we got pretty good at putting them back on really fast. We did one of them in 20 minutes. Okay.
We had to put them on so many times that by the time one broke right before the playoffs, we were just like on it.
Hi, I'm Connor Hickey. I am the sub-team lead for Drivetrain, and I kind of made those, and it was painful. I also was the drive coach, and I had some first-hand witness reports from RIT and Buckeye, and that was also painful to watch the wheels kind of freak out all the time. But other than that, it was super fun. So we did quite well at RIT, placing 36 out of 37th. And surprisingly enough, we still got chosen for the first alliance. I don't know how it happened, but it did, and we ended up winning, which we got this little trophy for. And we also got this plaque and the flag over there. The plaque's going to be hard to pick up, so show the flag first. And then the plaque as well. One of the benefits of RIT is we got to meet a whole bunch of new teams and got a lot of outreach, which is really nice because we haven't had a competition in the past 3 years. And that, for me, was the first competition I had, and it was just amazing. Ending up with our first winning blue flag, as mentioned, in 20 years. After that, we were going to the Buckeye competition down in Cleveland. That competition played much better for us. We did poorly, placing 10th out of 30 or 60? Yeah, okay, we placed 10th out of 60, so pretty poorly. Yeah, so who knows, yeah. I mean, so we kind of figured out the wheel situation, because after RIT, we learned that we only had 2 wheels functioning the entire competition, not all 4 like we had thought originally. So when they broke down, it made more sense why one would break down and the entire thing would stop working, because half of them weren't working in the first place. During Buckeye, we had solved that issue mostly. That's why we kept fixing it constantly, and there were points in certain matches where we knew the wheels weren't working, but we used them anyways. We are going to fix that next year. We already bought better sort of modules. I promise. So in Buckeye, we did surprisingly well. As I said, 10th out of 60th. And during the Alliance selection, we were placed, and we ended up being the 8th Alliance captains, which got a little band that I got to keep. I'm not wearing that now. I wish I was. And that was really fun. We got to choose and select 2 other teams to join our alliance. And even though we were eliminated, we got to meet 2 new, and both of them were 2nd and 3rd year teams respectively. They were awesome to meet, and hopefully we get to play with them again in the future. And they're both planning on improving, so you never know, right? And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yes.
So you talked about competition, you talked about team cooperation, and you talked about camaraderie with other teams.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So talk a little bit about that. You had 60 teams in Ohio, 37 teams in RIT. How did you interact with the other teams?
So there's two ways we interact with teams. One was through scouting, and this is kind of the way we don't really get to know teams well. We just kind of get their base ideas. And there's pit scouting, which isn't the second way. That's another form of scouting, which we also use to understand and get a greater understanding of the teams. The second way is we play with the teams. So there's the way the game is set up. It's 6 teams. It's a 3v3, and we work with 2 other teams. This is a great way to meet the coaches, and the other teammates will also interact. And it's a great way we can create plans and come up how to fight the other teams, not fight. Play against, not fight. Hopefully not fight. Yeah. We do our best to not damage the other robots because we're friendly most of the time. So we end up getting like close bonds to other teams. A great example of this would be Team 340, which is Greater Rochester. So we met them really early on in the competition, and they talked to us match after match. They were the ones who told us in the end that they selected us for the first alliance at RIT. And they kind of helped us throughout the entire game. And relationships like that burst up through the 3v3 system. And scouting is another great way we kind of figure stuff out. We go to teams, pits, and in Buckeye we created a system called Scouting V2, where what we do is we do our normal scouting, and then without saying anything, we switch to an entirely jokish scouting sheet with stuff like how many lumens does your robot output? Stuff that we're never going to use in competition. And this got us good relationships to teams from Cleveland and teams that were also from Rochester, who were also coincidentally at the Cleveland competition. And so we can also use these interactions to create strategies before the games, where the teams 3 would meet up, and we create and figure out how we play against other teams and use the scouting information to figure out how we're going to beat the other teams. Yeah. Thank you.
Can you guys go up? So, not as tall as my team, sorry. Hi, I'm Coach Kraus, head coach. Can you guys come on up? Yep, everyone? Mentors? So spread out.
You guys can all come over.
Oh yeah, they want to see everything. One of the most exciting things about being part of Team 578 Red Raider Robotics is working with a network of students from Minerva DeLand and Fairport High School who have a passion for STEM, who are eager to learn and grow and create and lead. We also have a network of adult mentors who are professionals in their areas of expertise, and they pass their knowledge on to the kids, inspiring them to create things like this. One of the other awards that we actually were chosen for this year was the Imagery Award, and it's how we present ourselves and market ourselves to everyone else, which was quite an honor. We can't do this without everyone standing here. I can't do this without everyone standing here or seated here or the community at large. We are so grateful for all the support that you give us, Board of Ed, Mr. Provenzano, Mr. Clark, who's behind me. Oh, Mr. Monticelli. Martha Brown, who houses us, JP, who hosts FLL teams, the community for supporting our chicken barbecues, Martha Brown custodial staff, like to give a shout out to Mrs. Beck, who lets us sew our safety glass cases in her workroom. All the kids call it a sweatshop, but it's okay. It's really fun. It really is. And I can't wait till next year, because our watchword this year was perseverance, because no matter what happened, ups, downs, lefts, rights, this group of people figured it out and contributed to our amazing success this year. And I am so proud to be their head coach. And I can't wait to see what the future brings. So thank you so much for having us.
Mrs. Kraus and mentors, thank you so much. It's amazing. You'll go to Martha Brown on a hot summer night, and this team 578 is there actually problem solving, breaking their equipment down. It is a year-long process. It's the ultimate educational experience. Students are doing science, technology, engineering, math, and art and math, excuse me, to stick with the STEAM. And it's just amazing, the problem solving. And you know why you were picked as allies is because of your energy. You know, I was at that performance, and, you know, sure, it wasn't where you wanted it to be, but everyone noticed your teamwork. Everyone noticed how outgoing and collaborative you were. And that's why you made it to where you are, because those skills are incredibly important. And you guys were I know you were disappointed, but I felt very inadequate. this by listening to, you know, the amount of know-how and expertise. I'm grateful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing all the equipment and giving us a show. We so appreciate it. And
we'll try to be quiet on the way out.
We do, not on the agenda purposefully, have one other item on the recognition side, and that is for Mr. Damon Buffum, who has served 9 years on the board and is now at the end of his third term of 3 years. And so we have, as a group, both a plaque from the Monroe County School Board Association we'd like to present to him, and a gift from the rest of us, Damon. And I just was recollecting back after you were first elected, I don't know if you recall, we carpooled down to WXXI, right, where they had some of the regents in, and at the time there was a big push for high stakes testing, and we weren't too excited about that, right, as I recall, and most of the community was not, and there were many school districts there. But regardless, getting to know you on that ride, and ever since, seeing your thoughtfulness, the questions that you ask, never rushing to judgment, deliberative in everything that we talk about, always wanting to have a good grasp from all angles. It's been a pleasure to serve with you, Damon, so thank you so much. Yeah, and I know you requested some time, and we limited his time, but
yeah. 45 minutes.
I'm setting my timer.
Is now my time?
Sure, go ahead.
So, for those of you that remember 9 years ago, my first meeting was our reorg meeting, which is usually about 10 minutes, and I came in there and asked question after question after question, and it ended up being about a 2-hour meeting. And my mentor, Joyce, was like, oh my goodness, what did I do? What did I do? And 9 years later, I'm still here, so I appreciate that. But so that was a long meeting. I kept it to 1 page, double-sided. Yeah, right, single space. It's like, I won't be able to read it, but it starts really slow and then it speeds up towards the end, so I should be quick. But if you don't mind,
go for it.
You'll indulge me. Okay, thank you. So I come from a family of educators. My wife, my daughter, my grandmother, father, stepmother, aunts, and uncles are all, or were, educators in public education districts. Education was always important to my family, and discussions around our dinner table were often around students that were having challenges or seeing accomplishments, different interactions between educators and students that happened every day in the classroom. But sometimes the discussions will be around a child that they had taught years before, and how they had met or received a short note from the former student that had grown. The student had grown and achieved something that was unexpected many years before. They glowed when they explained how their former student had gone on to done amazing things, and seeing them was such an exciting time and feeling of knowing they'd contributed in some small way towards the person's growth, and that felt really good. I'm sure every teacher and educator has had that similar experience, a recognition that a student relationship, a class event from years ago that helped a successful life in a diverse world. And that brings us back to today. The educational and personal seeds that we plant and nurture with love, time, creativity, focus, and work will grow into individual futures that we can't fathom in this current moment. The positive impact on children's lives being made every day in Fairport schools, starting with kiddos getting on the bus to go to school, through the day with every teacher, aide, school nurse, counselor, administrator, coach, drama director. All those interactions will help grow a child's future into becoming a unique adult built on the experiences they had with our Fairport family. So what does this have to do with being a board member? School board members don't teach, we don't direct, we don't coach, we don't counsel children at all. In fact, we don't have much action with students entirely. We don't write curriculum, we don't drive buses, serve meals, clean the buildings. What have I been doing these last 9 years? Business meetings and workshops and advocacy trips, and going to WXXI and subcommittee meetings, talking on the phone, writing and reading and posting and Zooming and teaming and YouTubing. That's what I've been doing for 9 years. By definition, a school board exists to help form and pass a budget, hire a superintendent of schools, and provide oversight into school district operations. But I've really come to understand that what a school board does is enable environments where learning can be achieved and the magical connections between students, teachers, coaches, administrators, and other staff can happen. What a school board, we pass a school budget that supports hiring and compensating amazing teachers that will teach and influence the lives of our students. We invest in textbooks, field trips, drama, band, orchestra, athletics, robotics, countless extracurricular activities that provide students with opportunities to connect with their own passions, each other, and with adult mentors. We prioritize and invest in the mental health of our students, providing support to students with unique needs. We embrace the diversity of our E&L students and invest in extra resources to help them succeed. We help form and pass facility improvement projects that will provide classrooms, fields, cafeterias, labs that are modern and facilitate learning and collaborating. A school board doesn't build, but we prioritize, we plan, we invest, and we help get approval from our community, and then provide oversight in the projects as the projects become reality. Like an educator in schools, the impact of these efforts often can't be measured in short periods of time, but over the course of years or a lifetime, the impact of these decisions and this work will be immense. Of course, one of the best parts of being on the board is touring a school building every month and seeing the tremendous learning that's occurring in these classrooms. The interaction between teacher and student, care of the staff in a building is so impactful to see firsthand. So I have 7 children, and I was thinking, not one of them have ever said, I sure have amazing memories of a school board member when I was in school. But every one of them has mentioned many memories of teachers, coaches, music directors, or other educators that have made lasting impacts on their lives. That's what we do. What I have done as a school board member is create that foundation for these life-impacting connections and foundations to occur, building opportunities for kids, not just my kids, but all kids attending Fairport schools. I'm going to wrap it up now. I'm grateful for the opportunity I've had to serve on the board with so many dedicated, smart, caring people. Every one of you, every one of you on the board in these past 9 years has brought unique talents and perspective to this group, helping me understand through different issues on topics I thought I'd previously understood. That's the beauty of a board of 7 individuals with different backgrounds. No single view counts more than any other. Only through discussion and sharing of views does this board make a single decision. I'm leaving the board with a different perspective than when I came in, and I'm a much better person because of each of you. I came to this board in 2013 with Jim, Marilyn, Maureen, Joyce, Peter, and Marty. Along the way, I've had the privilege of also serving with Karen, Judy, Kevin, Arlette, Tim, Mary Caitlin, Brian, and Janice. I've learned from every one of you and admire your dedication for our children and our schools. Joyce, Peter, and Marty, in particular, have had to exercise the most patience with me over the 9 years on the board. I was part of our own, I call us the Core Four. We were the Core Four for the past 9 years, and I have so much gratitude for each one of you. Your knowledge, quiet dedication, occasional stern looks, kicks under the table, and redirecting comments. Professionalism, love for our schools is something I'll always admire. We've had the opportunity to help develop 9 budgets that reflect our community's values for learning and opportunities, and had our communities overwhelmingly pass them. We've hired 2 superintendents at critical moments for Fairport. We were able to bring back Bill Kayla in 2014 to help heal our district, and we were able to promote Brett Provenzano to be our superintendent in 2015 to give his heart to moving our schools into the complex future. Both were amazing hires at the right time, and I'm so grateful to have been able to work with Brett these last 7 years. So, to each of you and all the Fairport students, families, staff, and administration, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your team these last 9 years. What you're doing is important, so admirable, and I'm honored to have been able to contribute to your success. Thank you.
And thank you. I was going to say something along those lines in terms of everything we do supports all the recognitions previously, and it might be behind the scenes. But to you, we present you with this plaque from Monroe County School Board Association, appreciation, and then the gift from all of us.
Thank you.
But thank you. No, I hope not. Right after that speech, you can't leave till after the meeting, you know. Don't let me forget. Anyone else? No? Okay, then I guess I'll break out the hammer and officially call our meeting to order at 7:13. Thank you all for being here, and board members, for everybody. I would like to call or ask for a motion to approve the agenda as outlined. Mary Caitlin, thank you. A second. Erica. Questions, comments, or mostly any motion to amend the agenda? Now's a good time, but you can amend any time during our meeting. Hearing, seeing none, all in favor? 7-0. Thank you. That takes us to our public comment period. We have 3 who have signed up this evening for public comment. Just as a reminder overall, limit that to 3 minutes. We will take just a quick pause to stop. We have recently discussed but did not come to a final decision. At least I was out of country even on whether to keep or to start broadcasting. We have not in my 10 years, and we haven't changed our mind yet as far as I know officially, so we will pause it just long enough to shut off the stream.